It's time now for business. Let's say hello to Kate Moody.
Hi, Francois.
I'm confused. Is the clock still ticking for TikTok, or has it been stopped?
It is still ticking. They've got until September 20th. These things are moving very, very quickly, so it's hard to keep track sometimes. But the software company Oracle has now confirmed that it is closing in on a deal to buy the app's U.S. operations after TikTok rejected a joint offer from Microsoft and Walmart. Now, the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that the administration is studying this proposal, and it set a deadline of September 20th to conclude a deal or be blacklisted from the United States. Any deal is unlikely to represent an outright sale of the popular Chinese video platform, with Oracle now aiming to serve as the, quote, trusted technology partner in the U.S. Luke Schrago explains.
Could Oracle be the firm to help salvage TikTok's US operations? After beating out a bid from Microsoft, the Californian business software company might be able to partner with TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance and prevent a looming shutdown of the video sharing app in the USA set for next weekend. The US administration's taken an increasingly dim view of Chinese-owned companies' penetration into its territory, fearing Beijing could force them to share US user data with it and spy on US citizens. TikTok's always denied it would do so and says it doesn't store data from its 100 million US users in China. However, Chinese law may not give it much choice if ever ordered to do so. Ensuring TikTok is US-owned and run would, for the White House, allay security concerns, even as Beijing accuses Washington of strong-arming its competition.
The encircling that TikTok has encountered in the U.S. is a typical case of government coercion. Without any evidence at all, they generalize the concept of national security and abuse state power to purposely coerce and unjustifiably crack down on non-American enterprises that have taken the lead in particular fields.
China altered regulations over tech exports late last month, likely ensnaring the artificial intelligence algorithm at the heart of the TikTok app. That would prevent ByteDance from selling it off outright, leaving Oracle in position to manage US data in partnership with the Chinese company. Either way, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States will still have to review the Oracle deal for any other potential national security risks.
The French Prime Minister has urged more companies to take advantage of the state-sponsored furlough scheme or part-time work deals in order to prevent wide-scale layoffs. The government has already spent billions of euros on that program since the pandemic hit, and it's extended the support now until next summer. Visiting a factory near Paris, Jean Castex said the program would continue to cover about 93% of employees' salaries and protect their skills.
Je vous engage à conclure massivement et très vite, d'ici au 1er novembre, des accords d'activité partielle de longue durée dans les branches sociales et dans les entreprises. Outre qu'ils nourrissent le dialogue social, ces accords protègent l'emploi, donnent de la visibilité à vos salariés et répondent à votre besoin de préserver votre savoir-faire.
Let's check in on the day's trading action now. Fairly muted close for the major European indices. Just the CAC 40 slightly above the flat line here in Paris. We saw industrial production in the Eurozone slowing down for the month of July. More data showing a rather pessimistic outlook. Over on Wall Street, we're seeing a bit of a rally led by tech shares. You can see the Nasdaq up about 2% this hour. The S&P 500 1.7%. The Dow Jones about 1.5%. All eyes this week are really going to be on the U.S. Federal Reserve as it meets on Tuesday and Wednesday to see if the American Central Bank will change its monetary policy or release some more guidance about the state of the U.S. economy. Moving on to some of the day's other business headlines now. Amazon says it's creating 100,000 new full and part-time jobs in the U.S. and Canada as it opens 100 new facilities there. The e-commerce giant's also expanding its workforce in other countries. Its business has boomed during the pandemic, but it's faced criticism from unions about health and working conditions in its warehouses. Google's parent company Alphabet has pledged to go carbon-free by 2030. The tech giant's speeding up its transition to power its offices and data centers with wind, solar, and other renewable energy sources. CEO Sundar Pichai told Reuters the wildfires in California had increased public awareness of climate change. He said companies like Google should lead the way. And global oil demand will continue to be weak for the coming months or years, according to several pessimistic estimates this Monday. OPEC, the oil producers cartel, slashed its demand outlook by 400,000 barrels to just 9.4 million per day, while BP has predicted that global demand may have peaked and won't stop falling for some 30 years. Face masks are taking center stage in the fashion world, and not just worn by spectators, but being worn by models at the Madrid Fashion Week. A Spanish mask producer is co-sponsoring the largely digital event, and it's provided some 15,000 masks to help guarantee the public's safety. Even the most highbrow brands are now getting in on the action. Louis Vuitton has said it'll begin marketing a protective visor. It'll have its logo there and some golden studs. The panel will adapt to dark or sunlight, and it can even be worn upwards as a cap, according to the label. Francois, no official price point released for the moment, but reports in the industry suggest that it's going to be retailing for just under $1,000.
Wow. Just under 1,000.
Just under 1,000. But it can be worn as a hat, too. So,
all right. Will you be wearing one in the newsroom?
I'll run it past the bosses,
all right.
see if it passes muster.
You can expense it. Kate Moody will be back later with more business news.